I need some outside perspective because I'm struggling with what to do next. 2 years ago, I disowned my grandson, Alex, after I believed he had stolen from me. The item in question was a rare collectible that has sentimental and monetary value. It disappeared shortly after a visit from Alex and his family, and given Alex's recent troubles at the time, I jumped to conclusions that might not have been fair. Here's some context. Alex had been going through a rough patch as a teenager, skipping school, hanging out with the wrong crowd, and there were rumors of drug use. His mother, my daughter Laura, was constantly worried about him and shared her frustrations with me often. When Alex and his family visited 2 years ago, everything seemed fine on the surface, but I noticed him acting distant and restless, which fed into my suspicions. A few days after their visit, I noticed my collectible was missing. I was heartbroken and furious. That item was irreplaceable to me, and I immediately assumed Alex had taken it. It seemed to fit the narrative everyone had been whispering about: teenager in trouble, potential drug use, stealing to fund a habit. I called Laura and told her what I believed. I said Alex was no longer welcome in my home until he returned the item and came clean about what he had done. Laura, understandably upset, defended her son and denied the accusations. The conversation escalated into a shouting match, and I eventually hung up, resolved that I was in the right. What followed was a complete breakdown of our family. Laura took to social media, posting about how I had disowned Alex without evidence. Mutual friends and even people from our church community got involved, and the things they said about me were cruel. I was slandered as an unloving grandmother, a controlling matriarch, and someone who only cared about material possessions. It was humiliating. I didn't defend myself publicly because I believed I was right, and I refused to dignify their attacks with a response. I cut contact with Laura and her family, and we haven't spoken since. Fast forward to last week. I was cleaning out a cabinet in the living room when I found the missing collectible. It was tucked away behind some linens. My heart sank. I immediately realized what had happened. My husband had moved it to keep it safe during Alex's visit because there were younger children running around who might have broken it. He must have forgotten to tell me. I was overwhelmed with guilt but also anger. I'd spent 2 years estranged from my daughter and grandson over a mistake. But I can't ignore how they reacted either. The social media posts, the slander at church, the public humiliation, it was all completely over the top. They didn't just defend Alex, they went out of their way to tear me down. Even if I admit my mistake, how do I forgive them for how they treated me? I haven't told anyone about finding the item, not even my husband. A part of me feels like admitting the truth and apologizing is the right thing to do. But another part of me feels like I don't owe them anything after the way they reacted. They could have handled the situation privately instead of dragging it out for everyone to see. I keep telling myself that Alex probably didn't even notice I'd disowned him. He was so distant and troubled at the time. Would apologizing really make a difference now? So Reddit, am I the asshole for disowning my grandson over a misunderstanding and not wanting to admit my mistake? Or do I have a right to stay silent after everything my daughter and her family put me through?